Guru Nation, welcome! I'm in Austin, as you can see behind me. Austin, Texas. I've only been here 5 hours, fell in love with the place already.
Sure.
Well, Ashley, I'm so glad you came so you could educate us about clinical research, about data management, about how you're tweaking your CV to look for opportunities, about working in the public sector and then trying to get back in the private sector.
Yes.
I posted this thing on Instagram today. I'm in Austin. Anybody here, let me know. Let's shoot some videos. You replied, and thank you very much for stopping by. Stopping by our humble Airbnb in beautiful Austin. So why don't you introduce yourself and tell Guru Nation who you are?
Okay, my name is Ashley Madigo. I am currently a clinical data specialist. I initially was a contractor with UT Southwestern Medical Center in Dallas, but we were stationed here in Austin. We were actually, as me and a group of 5, creating the foundation for the hepatitis C surveillance in the state of Texas. So yeah, the state contract ended, so the state liked our work, and we transferred over full time. And I'm now a program specialist, but still deal with the data. I'm the only person in the whole state that deals with the hepatitis C surveillance data.
So how long have you been working with the state?
The state, about 2.5 years.
And before that, how did you get started? Because everybody watching wants to know, okay, that's nice, Ashley, but how do I get started?
So I guess a small backtrack. I've been in the clinical industry since I was 19. I started working right away and worked home health and a little bit of hospice. And then from there, was doing my bachelor's in biology. And I found out that you can be a medical scribe. So I looked into that, diligent research, got into the organization medicalscribes.com, I believe. And I don't know if they're still...
Medical scribe.
Yes. And so another layman's term is medical transcription. So I shadowed ER physicians as well as eventually into clinical. In the ER, I was there for about 2 years. And so I got the terminology down. I got a lot of, the data systems and all that, understanding all of that and how the doctors work. And then from there, I was able to get into a clinic where they did geriatric and pediatric work. But this physician actually had, as you said in your book, a hybrid facility where he had his private his private company, his private clinic, and then on the side he had his clinical trials.
I love those. That's the sweet spot for research.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's how you got started. So you grew up here in Austin?
No. This is all in the Rio Grande Valley. It's about 30 minutes north from Mexico. We're super South Texas. We're like right next to South Padre Island.
Wow.
Right there, way down there. And so we have patients that have, hypertension, diabetes, and cholesterol and all of that. And it's actually one of the booming places for Medicare and Medicaid right now. And so a lot of doctors and physicians from all over the U.S. actually fly down there to, work because, there's a lot of, financial benefit that's going on over there. And so this doctor did clinical trials on diabetic medication as well as, I believe it was flu medication as well.
Yeah, flu studies are big.
Flu studies, yeah. So that's what they had there. I was a medical assistant, but I trained medical assistants. I also worked in the laboratory a little bit, and I helped with clinical operations in the area. And I didn't even know that we were doing, at least for the first 6 months, that we were doing actual clinical trials. I was handling the patients and dealing with consent forms and all of that. I just didn't know that what was happening. And so one day I actually went to the back and I spoke with the coordinator, and I understood what was happening. And
so that's how you got in at a site.
Yeah,
and it sounds like a very good site in a place where there's a research-naive population.
Yes, for sure.
And then, so what led you from there to Austin? How did you get the...
So I was there all the way till I graduated. I was there about 3 years, I'd say. And I graduated, and I was looking for work, and obviously had all this background. And so I was looking... I was under the impression that with UT Southwestern I would be doing direct research. So luckily I did get hired by them, but I found out that it was actually somewhat different. It wasn't necessarily research, but I was fortunate enough that it was a lot of clinical data and dealing with prevention, which also works with sites. So I did get some sort of connection on the public health background. So definitely have a full scope, I think 360 of private healthcare and
probably a very unique background. Most people just stay in one or the other and rarely have experience in both sides.
Yes, for sure. And I mean, it was just more the idea of understanding that if I wanted to move forward, I needed to stretch out and get out of my comfort zone. And so it was just like it was literally coming in blind. I didn't know what I was gonna be doing exactly, but it's like if I want opportunity, I need to just go with it and go full blown straight
Really?
in. Yes.
So what about data management? Like, how did you get into this?
Well, that's with this current job. They felt that given my background, that I knew, medical terminology, and I'd worked with physicians, and I work with epidemiologists, right? So, I kind of just learned off of them. They trained me. I was very fortunate with that. And as I said, it was hepatitis C surveillance in the state of Texas hasn't really been active for a while.
Yeah.
So they created our group. So I came in at the best time. We're all pretty much newly founded, and so we worked as a really well cohesive team, and we all just kind of taught each other a little bit of everything, and so got to the point eventually where they trusted me with the data and all of that. So I learned Tableau, which is fairly common. I don't know if it's common in the clinical research industry, but it's pretty much you utilize the system to manipulate data to make
like algorithm?
No, not algorithm. That's SAS, which I've learned very little of. Very, very complicated. But Tableau is more where you manipulate the data to create like graphs and patient education and provider education and things like that. Yeah, so I've gotten a good scope of things.
So like prospective studies, you're like forward looking. You're probably looking for like public health outcomes and things like that for the state of Texas.
Yes, but that's currently what I'm doing right now. But I want to go full blown straight into clinical research. I miss the healthcare setting.
You miss being at the site.
I miss seeing what my due diligence hard work is actually doing.
Because you're not interacting with patients.
Exactly.
Now, right? You're just doing data.
Yes, I mean I do over the phone, and we do go to site visits. Different centennial training areas and things like that where they're doing testing. But it's maybe 3 or 6 times out of the year. And so I really miss the patient interaction and miss discussing things with the doctor, asking questions, and just seeing what your work is actually doing, as opposed to just assuming that it's doing something good, in general. Yeah.
So how are you said today you were like tweaking your CV because what were you doing?
Yes. So actually, it's been about 2 months that I've been working with it. I was very fortunate that, as I said, I transitioned to the state full time from UT Southwestern. So fortunately, UT Southwestern has this program that when you are rifted or removed from contract, they give you a 13-week trial of Next Job. It's called Next Job, the organization, and you have a consultant reach you, and they go straight head into your resume. And I was always very fortunate with my resume, but with this consultant, she showed me things that I had never seen. And I've been in the working industry since I was 19, and I'm now 29. So
a good decade.
Yeah, good decade. Yeah. So
decade.
She showed me how to maneuver LinkedIn in ways I didn't know.
You have a LinkedIn?
Yes.
We're connected on this?
Yes, we're connected. Yes.
It's good. LinkedIn's very important.
Yes.
We tell every video.
It very much is. It really, really
People
is.
want to get jobs, and then they say, I don't see their LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And it's like, how are you gonna? It's 2020.
Yes.
This is like a 24/7 conference, basically.
Exactly. And I've actually had a LinkedIn for many years, and when we went through all my stuff, I was just like, what have I been doing?
Yeah.
I needed her for such a long time. I would have probably been much further in my career.
Do you ever want to be a CRA?
Huh?
CRA?
Oh, yes, for sure. That's actually, right now, like
Because you have everything you need for that.
Yeah, I just need somebody to hire me.
You're in the right place.
Yeah.
Austin and the biotechs are moving here every day.
Well, actually, today I had an interview. It's the second version of the interview. It's the last part. So.
Today you had an interview.
Yeah. Actually, before I reached out to you, it's actually a really great combination. So they call it clinical research coordinator. But when I went through the interview, the first interview, they pretty much said that I would be coordinating, but I'd also be monitoring. So when I researched with ACRP and SOCRA, those organizations, I found out that, as long as you meet a certain requirement of what you do, you can either you can take the exam from CRA or get this job.
Test.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to take that test for sure.
Yeah, you need 2 or 3 years of experience before you can take it.
Yes.
I don't have it, but I tell all my employees to get it.
Yeah.
and we'll even pay for it.
Yeah. Well, in the interview, I made sure that, because I let them know that what my plans were, and I wanted them to know that if I was going to go with anybody, that they were going to be for my, forwarding my education, my certification, that I needed somebody that would support me in that, and they said yes.
Oh, so you interviewed for a sponsor?
Yes, yeah. Actually, I didn't know it was a sponsor, and they're like, yeah, we're sponsored.
The happiest monitors work for sponsors.
Yeah, that's
not CROs.
It's zero.
So you're in the right place in Austin. The Uber driver just said 400 people moving here per day.
Yes, literally, and that's probably underrated too.
Wow.
Yeah, it's so much that the Austonians, the ones that've been here like forever, even sometimes do they're kind of against it, because a lot of these older companies that like mom pops, are having to shut down, due to gentrification. But that's part of growth, so it's a good thing. I think it's a little bit of
give and take. Yes. If you want to be a CRA, I'm sure there's a shortage here.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's those on Alejandro that there's like every day there's jobs posting every day, and with the techniques that I learned with my resume and how to do key components on how you structure it, and as well as the LinkedIn and all that, I've been literally getting hits every day.
What did you like? Give somebody advice? What's like 2 or 3 things you did to your CV that made it get more hits?
So one thing for sure, do not underestimate personal branding. Be very specific about people call it an objective, but it's not. It's supposed to be a summary of you, and let it be personable. They don't want to just read, jargon of, okay, I'm this, and this and that. They want to see your personality pop out. So definitely personal branding on your summary. And another thing would be key points. So I make sure to, under my personal branding, to put my, my areas of work. So my technical skills, and I make sure I section that out, because the way that AI algorithms work is that they pinpoint keywords that pop out, and the way that people format their resumes typically put it in a way that these words do not pop. So definitely look into keyword formatting for resumes online if you can.
Now, where people want to send their CVs to you after this, do you want to give them your email?
Or my email. Will find me on LinkedIn. My email's there.
So you gotta go on LinkedIn, guys.
Ashley Margot, you find me.
That's very good. Very good. And you know what? Victoria, you know Victoria, right?
Yeah, well, she, I did a bunch of due diligence when I found you.
Yeah.
I almost watched almost all your videos, and then I read your book on audio, and then you said you were giving out free ones, so I asked for your free ones so I could write notes. Yeah, you gave me.
Good. See, people win, guys. Yeah. People win these contests.
Keep trying.
Yeah.
And after that, it was Victoria. I think Victoria Welsh. I believe that's her last name. Yes. And
so her CRO, I just interviewed the founder, Kareem.
Yes.
It's actually just posted today. They're hiring all the time.
Oh, really?
For their CRO. And they're like a virtual CRO. So you work from home.
Oh.
And then you go out on site visits, like travel.
Very nice.
Yes. I can introduce you. I'll introduce you to Kareem.
Thank you. Thank you.
Actually, send me your nice CV. And then we send it to Kareem.
Well, if you want me to help your CRO students for your CRA program, let me know.
We have a lot in Texas, not in Austin. Yes. We have a lot in Dallas, a lot in Houston.
Yes, I did see that. Yeah.
There's a big following out there. Austin, not so much, but maybe eventually.
Yes, for sure.
Eventually.
We can talk in the future.
We will. Thank you, Ashley. Thank you very much. And if you want to get in touch with Ashley, reach out to me or LinkedIn, and I can give you her LinkedIn profile.
Take
care.